Hey y'all, welcome back to Super Beginner Go, and this is going to be the first in a series of lectures for beginners that I'm going to do. So what I usually do when I'm teaching people the game is we'll play a handicap 9x9 game, and then we'll do some very brief lesson, usually pertaining to something that happened in the game, but it kind of always ends up being the same lesson. So I'm going to kind of do a series of videos just real quick. These are very fast lessons, but I think very helpful for beginners. So let's start by looking at these three stones that I've got on the board here. 1, 2, and 3. And I want you to, right now, pause the video and try to kill these stones with as few white stones as possible. Just point with your finger and ask how many stones does it take to kill. So I'll go ahead and do that now. For this one, it takes 1, 2. For this one, it takes 1, 2, 3. And for this one, it takes 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I hope that it makes sense that when I say that the more stones it takes to kill something, the stronger it is. So when we say that this stone only took 2 white stones to kill, that's only 2 turns for white. And so what I want to point out is that when you play a stone exactly in the corner like this, that stone is already almost dead. So very seldom do we end up playing in the corner. So you'll see beginners do this a lot when they're trying to take a corner. They'll just plop a stone down here. There's usually very little reason for it. Sometimes we need it for eye shape, but we can talk about that later. Similarly, on the edge, it's very dangerous, especially if you're trying to attack someone's group where maybe they already have a stone here and you put one on the edge. This stone is also very nearly dead. Usually, we play almost all of our moves in the center of the board, usually away from the edge, away from the corner. And you'll see that in my games, right? You'll see that usually I don't end up playing on the edges until I'm really trying to solidify the territory. It's sort of an end game kind of move. Usually. There are exceptions, but this is a general rule. All right, now let's look at this next set of shapes. All right, so on the top left, group 1, we have a group of 3 black stones. And on the bottom right, we also have a group of 3 stones. Can you tell which one is stronger? Let's see how many it takes to kill. This group of 3 takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to kill, while group 2 takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to kill. So we see that this was a stronger group. How about the next? So here again, we have group 1, which is 4 stones, and group 2, which is 4 stones. Which one is stronger? Let's see how many stones it takes to kill. This group takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stones to kill, while this stone takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So again, we see that this line is a much stronger shape than this cluster of stones. So what we would call this cluster is over-concentrated or heavy, and what we're starting to see is that in Go, we try to make walls as much as we can. And I want to point something else out too. Let's get an open board going. So what I'd like to point out is that in Go, we want to make our walls, we want to make these long walls, but we usually don't build them one stone at a time. For example, if black plays this way and white plays this way, white has gotten so much more territory on the side here. Now it's true that black is stronger on this side, but so much slower. So we don't need to actually solidify our walls necessarily. And so, for example, white could consider something like this. This is not a wall. These stones aren't connected, but they're somewhat connected. It is difficult for black to disconnect them and take this territory away from white. So what we usually do is we try to make jumps, which will one day make a wall. So this is just an efficient use of stones, and I just wanted to show this. And so, when you've got your 5 handicap, or whatever handicap you're using against these bots, feel free to just make a loose connection between several of those stones to, in the future, make a wall, which will become a house, which will hold points. So that's it for this first lesson. I hope y'all like it. I've got a bunch more, so stay tuned.